Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Before I even get into this video, I just want to say I'm sorry for being so inactive. I've been so busy with college work and doing other things, and for a moment I couldn't think what I wanted to film, so I thought I might as well take a break from like posting on YouTube and try and actually get some inspiration. And now I've got a really good video that I can make from a post I did on Instagram actually. I did a post the other week on my autism and how I struggled with academic work and how I was like 2 years behind from all my peers. But I came up with an amazing post that I think you're all going to love and it's going to be beneficial to some of yous, which is like reading tips for anyone who's struggling, not just neurodivergent people, but anyone who's like struggling with reading and wants to get better at it or wants to actually enjoy it and just relax with a book in the middle of the night. Because like it's a good self-care activity and reading's very good for you. It's very important. So I hope you guys enjoy this video and make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more content. So, as I talked about in my education post, I talked about how education was really difficult for me because I was 2 years behind from my peers. So, I'd get very frustrated at the fact I couldn't read as well as some of them and I couldn't write as well, or I couldn't do my maths as well and all that. But I thought I'd do this one specifically on reading because recently I've really got into reading. It's become one of my interests, like alongside writing. I love writing anyway because writing's like a great form of communication. Like, when I can't get my thoughts across, writing is always a lifesaver and helps me when I'm in a situation where I kind of go nonverbal and don't know what to say, and like it can be very frustrating when you can't speak. So having like write a notepad as a backup is brilliant. It is a lifesaver. It really helps. But I've actually gotten to reading as well recently, and like I've noticed that I've been getting better at reading, so I'm actually really enjoying it now. Unlike before, where I just found it really frustrating, I'd skip past words, found them too hard, and all that. Well, now I actually concentrate on the words and just enjoy the book because reading's meant to be enjoyable. It's not meant to be stressful. It's meant to relax you and make you feel calm and all that. And reading's good for you, honestly. Like, think about it. If you couldn't read, think about all the stuff you couldn't do. You couldn't just go into a shop and order something because you wouldn't be able to read the menu. You'd find it hard to get a job. You'd struggle at college. You wouldn't be able to read books and that. You struggle even just like texting people. You wouldn't be able to send messages if you didn't know how to read, and you wouldn't be able to read the messages or write them. This reading comes in handy for so many things in life, and reading is definitely a mandatory skill and something that really comes in handy and it's essential just for everyday life. Like, you may not realize it, but you're actually reading every single day. Just looking at your phone at Facebook and reading someone's birthday post or something, even that is you reading. Even if you probably don't think anything of it, you're probably just quickly scanning through it, but you don't realize that's actually reading. Like, every single day we're reading, wherever we're reading on our phones, we're reading when we're going out and about, we're reading what road signs when we're driving, or we're reading the menu when we're in Starbucks. Like, we're always reading. We never go a day where we're not reading. So reading's a very important skill to have. And plus, it's meant to be a enjoyable thing as well. It's meant to be something to let you rewind on the end of the day and just let your mind chillax and escape into another world. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoy this. And I'm just going to give some tips on advice from my experiences of reading, coming from someone who used to find reading very frustrating and actually gave up on it. So yeah, let's do it. My first tip of advice is try and find a book that you enjoy. Don't just read any book, because if you read a book and you don't enjoy it, you're not going to take anything in. You're not going to find reading enjoyable or anything. It'll just feel like a chore. So find a book that you enjoy, something you're into. Like, for example, at the moment, I'm reading autistic books by Libby Scott, and they're really amazing. And the one I'm reading at the moment is Do You Know Me? And it's such a great book. And it's about her like going on a trip away with her friends at school. Well, say her friends, like she's kind of fallen out with them at this point and just starting to become more friendly with them. Anyway, I don't want to give the plot away or anything, but the book is really good, and it shows the challenges she has when she's away and the things that go well. Well, not really much is going well at the moment, but as a book, the plot builds up and up. It needs to have bad parts in it, or else there'll be no good ending. Like, you can't just be good the whole way, or else you won't be like thinking, like, you need that plot, you just need that intensity at some points. Then you think, oh, I really want to keep on reading this to see if this person will change or if this such thing will happen and all that. So it's important to read a book that you enjoy and that you can connect to. You don't necessarily have to relate to it, but you need to at least enjoy it, I think, to like read the book, whatever you're into. Like, for example, I'm into psychology books, so reading psychology books is good for me. or if you're the type of person that's into imagination books, like adventure books, then read lots of adventure books. Or if you're into like maths, read books on maths. Like just read something that you enjoy. Like make sure you enjoy the books. That's the most important part. It's important that you actually enjoy what you're reading, because you don't enjoy what you're reading, you won't even take it in. So what's the point really? So read something that will get you motivated and you'll actually enjoy it. It's important that you read at a level that's right for you, not reading a book that's too hard, but not reading a book that's too easy. Because if you're always reading books that are too easy, the chances are you're going to get frustrated and bored of them. Plus, you're not challenging yourself enough. But it's okay to read an easy book sometimes, just for like enjoyment. But sometimes it's good to challenge yourself so you're actually learning new words and like getting out of your comfort zone, you know. But you don't want to read a book that's too hard, because there's too many hard words on the page. You'll get frustrated and you'll just won't be able to read it, and you won't understand what's going on as well, because you're not going to pick it up because it's too hard for you. So it's important to like read at the right level. What my best bit of advice is, if you find that there's like five or more words on a page that you're finding hard to pronounce, the chances are the book is too hard. Wherever if there's like five or less words on the page that you're finding hard to pronounce, and the chances are it's the right level, as you need to have that challenge in there. You need to have words that you don't understand occasionally so that you're actually learning as you go along. Well, if you're reading a book and there's no words on the page that you find hard at all and you're flying through it, the chances are it's too easy. So find the correct level for you is really important. Even as an adult, it's important to read a book that's at your right level so that you're not getting frustrated and you're enjoying it. And yeah, I feel like the books I'm reading at the moment are definitely perfect level for me. Like, because yeah, I can pronounce most of the words, but there's like the odd word that comes up and I think, oh, I've never heard of that before. So it's quite cool, really. And Libby's only 14, so I think she's got really good writing skills for her age. And the way she writes her diary entrance, I really like that. That's really unique and cool. Like, and how she's like feeling and how the day went in that. Like, I think that's a really cool thing to put in a chapter book. Like, it makes her stand out and it makes it different. So yeah, just read at the right level, as that's important. If you get stuck on a word at any time, don't skip the word. Try and break it down to parts so you can learn it. Like, for example, when I was in drama, I really couldn't pronounce aggravate for the life of me. I was like saying it so many wrong ways. So the guy that was like teaching me it, he broke it down into bits. So it was like, so instead it was like just as it is, then grav, then he wrote grav, then eight. So that's like three words broken up basically. And then I learned it that way. So definitely break up the words. But I know the English dictionary can be very confusing sometimes, and some words can be said in different ways to what they actually look like. So my best advice to that is to maybe go online and listen to the word being spoken on like a YouTube video or even Google pronunciation. But bear in mind, Google pronunciation isn't always accurate, so just be aware of that. But you'll find plenty of YouTube videos where they'll say the words and you'll be able to find the pronunciation of it somewhere. So that's a good thing that nowadays we've got the internet, so we can use that if we really cannot pronounce the words. So definitely don't skip past the word. Try and learn the words. Even if it looks really, really complicated, you know you can't pronounce it. Like, just try and like pronounce it. And I have this thing of skipping past words all the time and trying to overcome that. But yeah, it's better to actually learn the word rather than skip past it, because then you're learning. That's a good thing. You're learning new words for your vocabulary. And the more words you learn, the easier reading will become and the more you'll get into the flow of it. And that's a really good thing. And it'll make reading a lot less frustrating for you. When you're reading a book, take your time. Don't like rush through it, because the chances are if you rush through it, you won't take anything in. So realize that it's not a race and just take your time and enjoy the book. Like sometimes I spend forever reading my books that I'm on. I mean, I've managed to read these books that I've been reading at the moment really quickly because I relate to them, so that I'm taking them in like really quickly that way. But like I still take my time reading. It's just that I spend a lot of time reading them in the evening because I just think it's just a nice chillax activity, you know. But like there's no time limit though. Some people can read a book in a day and take it all in. That's brilliant. But some people may need a month to read a whole chapter book, and that's also fine as well. Like just take your time reading and actually take in what you're reading. Maybe even ask questions to yourself while you're reading and think, oh, I wonder what's going to happen to this person. Are they going to do this? Are they going to do that? Like at the moment, there's a bully in the Do You Know Me book, and I'm wondering if she'll change at the end, if she'll become nicer, and I'm wondering how the trip will end. Will Libby become better friends with the Tally? It's her character. Will Tally become closer with the people that she's staying with? Will she actually become friendly with them again? Will she get to the end of the week and she will not regret it? Will she be happy that she went on the trip? Because at the moment she's hating it, but I'm wondering if things will get better for her. So I'm asking a lot of questions. I'm just like, it's keeping me really engaged. I'm just like, I wonder what's going to happen. I really hope that she'll be okay and she'll she'll be able to come back home and be happy that she went on it, and she'll be happy that she did it in the end. Because at the moment I feel really sorry for her and wish she didn't have to go through all that, but I'm really hoping it does get better for her. So yeah, just enjoy the book and take in what you're reading, and in that way you actually really enjoy it. And book reading's not frustrating when you're trying to guess what they're doing. Like, think of it as a movie. If you like watching movies, for example, you're always wondering what will happen at the end, what will go on right, or anything that you do with things like that. Reading's the same thing, just in a different format. Like, just think of it like that. I mean, I know not all of these are into movies, so it's not the best example, but just anything like that. Like, yeah, enjoy what you're reading and don't rush through it, because otherwise you just won't enjoy it. And yeah, just enjoy it and relax. Now, this one is very important. Don't compare your progress to others, because we're all on different roads in life. Some people are way up there, some people go all the way down there. And it's fine. We all struggle at times. That person that's next to you that's good at reading may be terrible at maths while you're good at maths. We all have our strengths and weaknesses. Just because you can't read, it's not the end of the world. You can become better at reading. It's just reading lots and lots of books, doing plenty of writing, just doing things. And like I said, just following all these tips of advice. And I can promise you, you'll become an amazing reader in no time. Like, everyone can read if they put their mind to it. I know for some people, especially people with dyslexia, reading can be really, really hard, because I know they have a lot of reading difficulties, and I totally, totally understand that. And you get some people who just can't read at all because of certain things, and it's a shame. But the thing is, everyone can learn to read in some kind of way. Like, I promise that you will learn to read and you will get better at it. Like, and even people with dyslexia, like I just mentioned, can become great readers and all that. Like, I got some, there's some people in my college class, there's loads of people in my college class actually. There's a few that are autistic, some who are dyslexic, and they're doing really, really well for themselves. So just because you have a condition like myself, it doesn't mean that it's the end of the world. Like, you can learn to read whatever you have. Like, I promise you, things will get better. And like, for someone who's behind 2 years academically, I would have never thought at this point in my life that I'd end up on a HNC course. I thought once I left school, I was thinking, oh, I'm going to be terrible and leave school. I'm so behind from my peers. I'm probably not even going to get into college. And look at me now, I'm doing a HNC, which is the first year of uni. So it shows you that anything is possible if you put your mind to it. And now I've caught up with everyone. So please don't worry if you're behind. It's normal to become behind at things at points. It's just having the encouragement, the motivation, the positivity, and you can do it. If you can set your mind to something, you can do anything, and that's what I'm saying. So don't compare your progress to others. You're your own person, and we all have our strengths and weaknesses. We'll have things we're above from others, and we may have things we're below from others, but that's fine. Like, it's fine to struggle academically, and just don't worry about it. Like, you will catch up, I promise. Try and like break the book down to parts you find reading overwhelming. Like, for example, with me, I find it very overwhelming when I open a book and I see like a whole massive page of information, especially my HNC social science course. Like, sometimes I get like articles coming up and they're absolutely massive, and I'm like, oh my god, where do I start? How am I going to get through all this? Like, how am I going to find all the information to answer the questions? But what you're best doing is just breaking each part off. You think, right, this part's to do with so and so, so these will relate to these questions. This part's to do with so and so, and maybe even put the page numbers next to them so that you know where to find the information. So break your reading into parts. Don't overwhelm yourself and think, oh my god, I have to read all this mountain of stuff and I don't know where to go from here. Just try and break it down into little chunks, and that way you won't be getting overwhelmed, and it'll feel a lot less of a chore. It'll feel a lot easier reading through it. Just break your reading into parts, and like, just don't get overwhelmed by it, because you find that it's never as bad as what it looks like. It looks bad, but trust me, like, just just take your time with it and read in chunks, and don't get yourself stressed out over it like I have at times. Like, just read each part and take your time reading it, take each part in, and then go to the next part, and so on. If you're the type of person who likes to like set goals when they're reading, like set realistic goals. Like for example, you say to yourself, maybe I'll read a chapter of a book before I go to sleep or something like that. Or maybe I'll read like 5 chapters of a book, but I'll spread it out throughout the day. But don't say to yourself, oh, I'm going to finish a whole entire book in one day, because yeah, it is possible. But if you're busy doing other things, like doing other work for college or going out with friends, the chances are this won't be possible. So it's important to set realistic goals. Because if you set a goal that's far too overwhelming, the chances are you won't achieve it anyway, and then you'll get upset and angry that you didn't manage to get to it, and it'll just lower your self-esteem even more. So the best way is to set realistic goals, and this way you'll feel a lot more confident in your ability, and you'll think to yourself, yeah, I can do it, I can do this, and then you won't feel like you've done badly when you haven't done badly anyway. But setting unrealistic goals can stress people out, and has stressed me out before. Because when I said my exams, I was like, I'm going to get all A's with my exams and I'm going to go to a perfect uni. This stressed me out and made me feel like I was a failure when I wasn't. But I just set too high of goals on myself. Like, but now I'm kind of just being a bit nicer to myself and saying, right, if you get like a C at the end of this year, then I'll be happy with that. Like, and I know, and it'd be nice to get like a B or an A, but I'm just saying a C would be nice, because like I can go into the H&D social science with a C anyway. So I'm trying to say to myself, a C is good as it is. So I'm just going to aim for a C. Like, and that's me being nice to myself and not being too harsh to myself. And I think that's a realistic goal. And the last thing I'm going to say is, if you get receive help, or if you need help, take it. Because like that, like if people want to help you, they're not doing it because they think you're incapable. They're doing it because they want you to do well. They want you to enjoy reading. They want you to actually be able to enjoy reading and be able to take in what you take in. And because they also know that reading is a life skill, so it's important to be good at reading. The more words you can read, the better. Like for example, when I was 13, I got to a point where it was like, I'm not reading anymore. And I said this to my parents, I hate reading, I don't want to do it anymore. And they said to me, but Lauren, if you don't read, you might struggle with driving, you won't be able to read the signs, you might struggle when going into restaurants and order things off the menu, you may struggle in college because you can't read words and all that. And like I thought to myself, but I know how to do basic reading, so sure, that's enough. But no, even if you know how to basic read, that's fine, but it's still good to learn new words and to like, and the more you read, the better it helps, because then you become better at memorizing things as well, because you're retaining more and more information, and your head gets used to retaining more information, so it helps with exams and all that as well. I find that I'm reading so much better now, and being and I'm doing so much better in like my work now in college than what it was a few years ago, because reading and writing a lot does really help you, and it helps the brain work. Like it's just so good for you. Plus writing is good for you anyway. It's like really relaxing coping mechanism, and so is reading. Like it's not meant to be a stressful activity, it's supposed to be enjoyable. So like if you need help with your reading, accept it, because at the end of the day we're only human and everyone deserves help. And like if you're getting help, it's not because people think you're stupid, it's because they want the best for you. And like if you're struggling with your reading and find it stressful and feel like you need help, ask for it, because trust me, there's loads of people out there who will want to help you and will want the best for you. So don't feel ashamed of having extra help. Like, because I was always ashamed of it and I shouldn't have been, because there's nothing wrong with extra help. And when my parents said they wanted to read with me, it wasn't because they thought I was incapable, it's because they wanted me to become better at reading for my future, to help me, because they thought it'd be frustrating for me in the future if I didn't know how to do it, and I would have found it even more upsetting than what I did at the time. So yeah, it's just don't suffer in silence like me, and don't be like me that I'm thinking, oh, I have to do everything alone, because you don't have to do everything alone in life. Sometimes it's good to get extra help, and there's nothing wrong with that. Thank you so much, guys, for watching my blog. I'm sorry that I stutter at points and can't get my words out. It's because I'm trying to think of something and I'm like, I can't remember what I was going to say. But anyway, I really hope these tips and advice help you guys anyway. And I try to put them as best as I can. So I hope this helps you guys with reading. And reading is meant to be an enjoyable thing, not a stressful activity. So I hope you guys will find books that you enjoy reading, will actually start to enjoy reading, because trust me, reading is an amazing self-care activity. Whenever I read, I feel so refreshed and relaxed after it. So I definitely highly recommend it, especially in the evening when you're way to go to sleep, because it keeps you into another world and it makes you forget about all your problems for a while. So yeah, I definitely highly recommend reading, like especially in the evening. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this, and yeah, bye guys. And I promise my next blog won't be as long after this. Well, I hope not. Don't take my word for it.